After a long rally in the market, there was a sharp fall in share price of all public listed companies of Adani Group. And the reason for a huge crash in Adani Group stock was due to a big news that came out over this weekend. It was the tweet from Sucheta Dalal. Those of you who have seen the 1992 scam series would know very well who is Sucheta Dalal. In case you don't know her, she is a journalist who identified the Harshad Mehta scam in 1992 and reported it. In fact, in 2006, she received the prestigious Padma Shri for her exemplary work in the field of journalism. Due to her tweet, all the public listed companies of Adani Group tanked badly today. Now, what was the tweet and why did Adani Group companies tank today? I tried to investigate further. Hello friends, my name is Sahil and this is my Personal Finance Academy where I explain everything about money management in layman's language. On Saturday 12 June 2021, Sucheta Dalal tweeted that another scandal hard to prove outside the black box of information available with SEBI tracking system is the return of an operator of the past who's relentlessly rigging prices of one group, all through foreign entities. While she did not mention the name of the group, it was quite obvious that she was talking about none other than the Adani Group. So basically, Sucheta Dalal has put an allegation on Adani Group that its share price is driven by operators. Before we look into the details of operators, let us first look at the Adani Group companies and the huge surge in the share price. And then we will try to understand how an operator can manipulate the share price of a company. Over the past 1 year, there has been a huge surge in the wealth of Gautam Adani. In fact, in the last 1 year, Gautam Adani wealth has surged by $43 billion. That's 3.2 lakh crore rupees. It's beyond imagination. As of 11 June 2021, Adani total wealth is $76 billion, that is 5.7 lakh crore rupees. So more than half of the wealth has been generated within the last 1 year. Now he is the second richest Indian after Mukesh Ambani, who has a total wealth of $84 billion. At the rate he is growing, he will soon surpass Mukesh Ambani and become the richest person in the entire Asian continent. Now the question is, what has happened in the last 1 year that has surged Gautam Adani wealth by 3.22 lakh crore rupees? The answer lies in the share price of the public listed companies of Adani. So there are 6 public listed companies of Adani Group: Adani Gas, Adani Transmission, Adani Enterprise, Adani Port, Adani Power and Adani Green. Now let us look at the surge in share price for each of the company in last 1 year. So in the last 1 year, Adani Gas share price has jumped from 132 rupees to 1680, giving 12.7 times return. That resulted in its market cap to jump from 14,000 crore to 1.78 lakh crore rupees. That's within 1 year. Adani Green share price has jumped from rupees 306 to 1394, giving 4.5 times return. That resulted in the market cap to jump from 40,000 crore to 1.9 lakh crore. Adani Transmission share price has jumped from 200 rupees to 1648, giving 8 times return. That resulted in its market cap to jump from 22,000 crore to 1.76 lakh crore. Adani Enterprise share price has jumped from 143 rupees to 1,718 rupees, giving 12 times return. That resulted in its market cap to jump from 15,000 crore to 1.76 lakh crore. Adani Port share price has jumped from 298 rupees to 901 rupee, giving 3 times return. That resulted in its market cap to jump from 57,000 crore to 1.71 lakh crore rupees. Adani Power share price has jumped from 34 rupees to 167 rupees, giving 5x return. That resulted in its market cap to jump from 11,000 crore to 57,000 crore rupees. Now this growth could be due to multiple factors. For example, due to huge growth opportunity in the renewable sector that might drive the shares of Adani companies. Then huge growth opportunity in the infrastructure sector where even the government has a lot of focus. But in spite of all these factors, there is a red flag. Adani Group companies are heavily debt funded. For example, Adani Gas has a total debt of 472 crore with a debt to equity ratio of 0.24, which is quite comfortable. However, Adani Green has a total debt of 23,774 crore with debt to equity ratio of 10.8. That's way too much. Adani Transmission has a total debt of 25,775 crore with debt to equity ratio of 2.89. It is again on the higher side. Adani Enterprise has a total debt of 15,293 crore with debt to equity ratio of 0.89. Adani Port has a total debt of 33,336 crore with debt to equity of 1.09. And Adani Power has a total debt of 49,640 crore with debt to equity ratio of 8.66. While it makes sense to have high debt level as the companies are involved in the infrastructure activities which are capital intensive, but the debt levels of some of the companies are way too high to justify the valuation. Hence the question is, why have the shares surged so much in the last 1 year? Is there anything fishy? That's where Sucheta Dalal has tweeted about the role of operators that is driving the surge in share price. Now before we even look at the role of operator in Adani Group, let's try to understand how operators can impact the share price. So at the end of the day, the increase or decrease in share price is a game of demand and supply for the share. If there is more demand for the share, that is there is more buyer than seller, it would surge the share price. And if there is more supply, that is more seller than buyer, then the share price would fall. So operators are big players that can buy the shares in huge quantity and trade among themselves to create artificial demand for the stock, and that result in huge increase in share price. This attracts a lot of retail investors who enter at high levels. Eventually, the operator dump the share and exit at high level. So at the end, the loser is retail investor. This type of activity mainly happens with penny stock. And this is the reason I don't prefer to talk about penny stock a lot. Now if a company has a majority of shares held by the promoters, then it would create scarcity of actively traded shares as promoter shares can't be traded in the market. In that case, there would be very low supply of shares. And if there is a positive news about the company, then obviously there would be more demand. It would result in an increase in share price. Sucheta Dalal acquisition is that Adani Group shares have jumped multiple times due to the artificial demand being created by operators. Of course, she did not mention the name of Adani, but it was very clear who she was talking about. If you look at the shareholding pattern of Adani Group, majority of shareholding is with promoter, that is Gautam Adani. For example, Adani Gas has a promoter shareholding of 74.8%. Adani Green has a shareholding of 56.29%. Adani Transmission has a promoter shareholding of 74.92%. Adani Enterprise has a promoter shareholding of 74.92%. Adani Port has a promoter shareholding of 63.74% and Adani Power has a promoter shareholding of 74.97%. Due to the majority of shareholding from promoters of Adani Group, there is a very low supply of shares for trading. Now even if there is a small demand, the share could surge due to lack of enough supply. And that's where it seems there is an artificial demand being created for Adani Group of companies. The acquisition is that there are 3 foreign companies related to the Adani Group that purchased huge amount of shares of Adani Group. That resulted in a surge in share price. As per latest news, the 3 foreign companies are Albula Investment Firm, Cresta Fund and APMS Investment Fund that together holds around 43,500 crore worth of shares in 4 Adani Group companies: Adani Enterprise, Adani Green Energy, Adani Transmission and Adani Total Gas. SEBI has frozen their account on or before 31st May. It means they won't be able to sell the shares. As a result, today the share price of Adani Group tanked heavily. Adani Gas touched a lower circuit of 5%. Adani Green touched a lower circuit of 5%. Adani Transmission touched a lower circuit of 5%. Adani Enterprise tanked 11.4%. Adani Ports tanked 11.6%. Adani Power touched a lower circuit of 5%. So 4 out of 6 stocks of Adani Group are trading at lower circuit today. If you ask my opinion about this story, I always felt that Adani Group companies are overpriced. Adani Gas is trading at a PE of 370. Adani Greens is trading at a PE of 907. Adani Transmission is trading at a PE of 144. Adani Enterprise is trading at a PE of 163. Adani Port is trading at a PE of 34 and Adani Power is trading at a PE of 45. On top of that, the majority of companies were heavily debt funded. I never like a company with too much debt. Some of you commented on my video on 100 plus super stocks that why I did not include Adani companies. The reason was due to overvaluation and high debt levels. Now it would be interesting to see the latest development from the investigation. But one thing is for sure, it would impact the share prices of Adani Group. And if there is a major issue with the group, then there would be an impact in the entire stock market. Having said this, as a long-term investor, you should not be too much worried about the stock market. Although it is looking a bit overvalued, the better strategy is to systematically invest the money rather than timing the stock market. Indian stock market has seen many fraud cases in the past, many corruption cases, many catastrophes, and we have been even at war. However, in spite of all these events, the share market has rewarded the long-term investors handsomely. So in this video, we investigated the latest news on Adani Group and the tweet from Sucheta Dalal. I hope you will find the analysis useful. If there is any major event in the future, I will try to cover it.